Hey Dee,
Hi, Leigh.
how are you?
This is so funny because women are by nature good actresses, but you acting like we haven't been talking for the last 2 hours is quite cute.
I know. I think it's
We're in
about
the
time that we do some kitchen minutes, though.
Oh,
Don't you think?
okay. What a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, the fans really loved it, so I'm excited to continue to answer their questions. So,
Okay,
in,
good.
in working through some that we've had so many questions and keep them coming definitely. One person asked, Letty of West Bend, Wisconsin, said, when we see you and Drake in the backgrounds of scenes, what are you talking about? Are you discussing life? Are you rehearsing upcoming lines? What is it that you're doing?
Drake can't hear anything.
Oh no,
So we are not having a conversation.
he may be
um,
having one with himself, but not with
or
you.
maybe, yes, yeah. Um, um, Anyway, no, we're not. Do we talk in the background, Leigh? I don't know that we do. Maybe we do. I don't know. We
A little
pretend
bit
to.
here and there, but it's, yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's noticeable that it seems like you're having a conversation, but other
yeah.
times, yeah.
There have been moments where, because he's so much more well prepared than I am, as a rule, that I'll say, "Can we run the last scene? One right after this one. Can we just run it quietly?" Sure. Okay. Fine.
Oh, sweet. And especially with the, COVID protocols, I'm sure because you can't see each other in your dressing rooms and things like that. I mean, that's probably naturally where you can actually do those types of things now. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good because yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Another question. Kathy Thomason from Reno, Nevada said, what is your favorite episode or storyline of Marlena throughout the years? Do you have one?
Well, gal, I mean, we could take a poll, I suppose. Leigh, you know this. I'm a fan of easy work. If I'm in a coma, I couldn't be happier. So favorite storylines. I love working with my sister. That's always great fun to have her here and locked in the house with me and just that. So that's fun. Favorite storylines. I'm easy. I'm easy. It doesn't really matter. I don't like being dirty. I don't like scenes where I have to stand a lot, because we're all in heels, and then that gets, weddings, not my favorite thing. There it is.
There it is. There it is.
Sorry,
One
Letty.
question that continued to come up was, and it's by multiple people, is what advice would you give to your younger self?
You know, I wish I had a nickel for every time that gets asked. Is it in a hopper somewhere where people keep pulling it out? Why would somebody think that you give your younger self advice? Am I being too unkind here?
No, I mean,
What?
I think it's one of those things where, it's, what are you learning through life that you may wish that you have known back then, but then at the same time, you wouldn't know. Hindsight's always 2020. So I don't know.
Well, but the answer is, in God's universe, you got where you are for a reason. You were meant to be here, and you can start thinking, well, if I'd graduated from college, or if I'd married that guy, or if I hadn't bought that car on the slow pay method, I don't know. It just I don't. Ha ha ha. Next question.
Next question. Okay. One question that we had from a few people, but one, let's see, Mercedes Norman of Decatur, Illinois said, "What is your favorite? Who's your favorite person to work with currently on the cast, or maybe previously?"
Um, Wow. It's always going to be a surprise. I love working with Mary Beth Evans, um, because she always has this rich other life. She's always buying a place and remodeling it, or taking her kids on some fabulous. And I think, boy, this woman packs more life into a life than anybody I've ever seen. And I find that delicious. I love to hear what she's doing. Um, and she's funny to work with. I don't know if do you know that about Leigh? Do you know that about Mary Beth? She's funny.
Yeah. When I met her, I didn't notice very quickly her sense of humor, and I really enjoyed it. So it's always nice to kind of see that human side of people once you've seen them on screen for so long, to actually see what they're like in real life. So yeah,
Yeah, right. I don't think we see Kayla as being especially a funny woman. Yeah,
no, not at all.
but just dear and adorable. I like working with Galen. Um, um, uh, just because he's easy and loose and he doesn't take any of it terribly seriously, and and thinks I'm a goddess, so that always helps. I'm just kidding about that part. Um, who else? I that hmm, hmm.
Well, one person asked, Brooke Mullican from Tracy, California, said, "Can you tell us more about your friendship with Judy Evans? You really don't get to work with her much, well, except for Bonnie and Hattie. I mean, that was iconic. So,
Right.
yeah, what's it about Judy and your friendship that is special to you?"
Judy and I had worked together, as you know, and then she had a terrible tragedy in her life, and she called, and we have been incredibly close ever since then. Uh, she's so interesting. She's so and I'm talking about Mary Beth being interesting. Judy, grew up in the circus and traveled, and she can do all kinds of things you didn't know she could do. And I don't know if she walks a tightrope, but I mean, she really is incredibly physically talented. We know a horseback rider, horsewoman, what do you call them? But she's a very
Question.
accomplished, what? Equestrian.
Question.
Thank you. I knew you'd know, you college people.
Yeah.
Yeah, an amazing equestrian, and yeah, and we also love working together and love hanging out together. We spend time over at Bill and Susan Hayes' house together.
Really?
Yeah, I love dropping by to see them.
Oh, they're lovely. Talk
They
about
are lovely.
meeting and exceeding my expectations, meeting them. They were lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we can, well, that's a few of the same type of questions. So if you want to come back in a second, we'll start some more. That works for you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
See you in a
Perfect.
sec.